Morning, yo! Let's talk gains. Can you hit the ball further? It's something I've been trying to do since lockdown begun in the UK. You have more time to think about myself, so I thought, well, let's try and hit the ball further. So today's video, I'm going to show you where I'm at, what I'm doing. Lots of you asking what I'm doing, you know, exercises, what my swing is doing, and what speeds I'm up to. This video is probably called how to hit the ball 300 yards and all that kind of malarkey, but it's actually a real account of it, rather than just maybe the glossy tips, because there's going to be not much gloss in this. Let's start with a coffee, which I probably shouldn't be having anyway. Right, in that comment section down below, let me know what speed, so ball speed, once you've watched the video, do you think I can get to? Can I get to where I want to get? In that comment section down below, let me know down there if you want to get faster as well. And if you like the video, you like what we're doing here, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Not enough of you are hitting the thumbs up button. If you can hit the thumbs up button, it helps the video, it helps the channel, we'll get more videos. So the changes in my swing, to be honest with you, they're ongoing. I guess all of our swings have got ongoing changes, but like, I'm really learning stuff with the Swing Catalyst 3D force plate that I wish I'd known when I was younger more. That is allowing me to pick up some speed and max out a little bit more. So let's kick this off with showing you what I'm doing to try and hit the ball harder, swing the club faster, get that ball speed up. And ball speed, you're gonna find through this video, is still my enemy. I trade a lot in other departments, which you'll see. But let's show you what I'm doing with the ground, how I'm swinging, what I'm doing with my feet, and how I'm trying to push and use forces to try and pick that club head speed up. The biggest changes have been from the ground up in my action. So where you might not see this changing that much, how I feel I use the ground, where I feel I'm pushing, has really changed. And we're talking like from my like how it feels in my mind, totally different. I've always been very delivery orientated, so every position's about trying to get delivery as good as possible. I'm going to show you my numbers at the end of this video where the gains have come from. You'll see with delivery and how I strike it, where I hit it, what I'm trying to do when I hit it. But let's show you the difference in what my feet are doing on the ground, because it's massive. So I was generally much more left heel hitter, so turning quite heavily into the heel of my left foot on the downswing, so really trying to rotate down and into that left heel. Now for forces in the ground, that's not always the best way to hit it to get any kind of distance, because if you think about it, if I was going to jump from the ground, so try and stand, push down and jump up from the ground, I'm going to jump pretty much on the balls of my feet. I'm not going to start on my heels to jump. I'm going to move down onto my balls, my feet, push down to then jump up. Now in my golf swing, vertical force, trying to push up through this left leg, is actually one of my biggest power sources. By turning onto my left heel, it's restricting my power. If we go to the swing cat and the foresight room, let's show you the difference in the two movements and show you exactly what it does to the speed. So we've got two swings. Left swing here, if we quickly look at just some of the launch data on the left swing. So the left swing, we had a club swinging at 109. And the right swing here, we had a club swinging at 104. So left is the newer move, right is the original move I grew up playing with. Now, if we look at the pressure on the ground here, so how my feet are stood on the force plate here, and then we're also going to look at the vertical force. So we've got 162% vertical force on my old swing, where I'm getting it at 204 with my new swing. So much more vertical force being produced, which is allowing me to pick up club head speed. And the time I produce it is different as well, which we'll come to. Now, the biggest difference you're going to see on these two swings is how I push into the ground, toe to heel based, really. So backswing on the new, if you like, faster swing. And I'm just going to get this synced up here with the older swing. See how much more I was in the heel and the toe of my left foot here, and heel, toe of right foot, where I'm now in the heel and toe of my right foot, but my heel, left heel has come up and I'm just pushing hard down on the toe. See how red it is of my lead foot, my left foot on the backswing. Now then in turn, as I start the downswing, so if we move this one forwards into the downswing, you see everything moves onto the toes. So the heels now are not really contacting the ground. I'm really pushing down with those toes. and I'm peaking with my vertical force there, hands kind of just below belt buckle, club. This is still a bit late for me. I'd want to peak this vertical force earlier, but this is earlier than where I normally get. So this swing was much more in the heel of the left foot for a longer time before getting onto the toes quite late. And if you look at the smaller vertical force peaking, the club's now in shot. The head of the club's in shot. It's a frame also further on than this one. Peaking my vertical forces, as you see here, late, means I'm not going to get this 62% vertical force all onto the ball. Even though this one is late, there's more potential force and it's peaking earlier. If I can get this to peak even earlier, there's more distance to be had. Now, if we just roll it through, you can see the heel really coming into contact quite early with the ground. Where if we take this one, it's very much off the toes. So the jump is still there, the push and jump is still there. It's just not as visible as you were seeing it when I first started it, but the forces are still being created. It's still there just by using the vertical forces and the jump this way. So a bit more, less aggressive pulling back with my left foot allows me to keep my strike and my game a little bit more on the golf course. What's really fun with this is no matter how hard I push and how hard I feel and fast I'm doing stuff, when I watch it back at normal speed, it's amazing how controlled it still looks compared to how fast those guys and girls you're watching on the telly are kind of swinging themselves at it. Definitely, like pat was just installed into me as something that you needed to do. Now, the big trouble, as you'll all know when you start changing your swing, when you start changing your movements, is some different kind of patterns start to arrive, and then actually playing golf on the course sometimes can get harder. I'll show you what I mean. The spanner comes in the in-between distances, and I'm finding myself having to learn a bit how to play. So this is 200 yards. Now with this new move, I can get my 6-iron going this distance, but I would generally hit my 22-degree hybrid and kind of just hit a nice gentle one. So now I have two decisions. It actually gets a little trickier because I've not practiced the two decisions for long enough. If I grew up doing this, I would have all that data ready to go. So this is where this gets challenging. So I'm going to have to really delve up to into left big toe and push to get this there. I feel like I'm in it hard. Isn't a problem, but still learning shapes. Will it draw, will it fade, is still not as consistent. Definitely tend to get it more left than right with this, which is something I need to work on. Where I definitely grew up as someone who would take more club and hit it softer. So if I now use my 22, I now need to have this more connected to the ground swing. Again, so having two different swings in the space of one hole, or in the space of one round more, that's such a better shot. Basically, it's giving me another set of patterns that I have to learn. I don't play enough really to learn them. Again, it's something I wish I grew up doing. I'd have all the data. Another thing to practice, isn't it? This is a great hole for me because the second bunk here I just cannot carry, and it's kind of like, it's my nemesis. This is the one from this back tee, neutral wind. If I can get over that second bunker, this hole becomes so much easier. And so this hole is really one of those holes that says to me, you can get 20 yards, 25 yards, 30 yards, imagine longer. If I wanted to compete and play, there's going to be plenty of situations like this, and all of a sudden I have an option. I have another skill set that I never had before, where I would have always, before having to be like taking it as close to these bunkers as possible, which I got quite skilled at, but when you have your bad days, you're short and in the bunker. Makes for not much fun. I'm going to hit this one hard. Let's see if I can get over that second bunker yet. Every day is a hope day. No, I have just cut that, kind of heeled it into the middle of the fairway. I've skirted the bunkers. What do you reckon down below? Can you take the pat out of the par field? I'm not sure you can. I mean, you can, but I'm not sure I can. My age, my commitments, my excuses. Can fly this one, can't fly that one, and I tend to skirt them. If you think about it, this is like my average to below average, like, but only by a few yards, and it's not long enough. If I was able to carry this bunker by 10 yards, then even this one will have a chance of getting over it. And the difference when you hit the slope, well, it's 100 yards from here, it would be 50 from up there, but let's pretend it's 200 from here. So this is hybrid territory. I'd rather have the 158 iron from up there. I mean, it's just, it can have ginormous effects. So fitness. Fitness. Tomato and basil today. So the first thing I did is I contacted an expert. So I've been using the Fit for Golf app, been speaking with Michael Carroll. I told him what I wanted to do, and he gave me some programs, put them in the app, and I try and follow them as best I can. So what I'm doing, plenty of throwing a ball. So I said to him that I'm not gonna go to the gym yet, I'm just not that keen. And I'm not that good at maybe, like, you know, putting an hour aside each day, one block to do these exercises. What I'll be doing is I'll be doing 5 minutes in between edits, 5 minutes in between capturing data for videos. When I wake up, I'll do some. So I'll be doing it like spasmodically through the day in very small little packages. He gave me plenty of med ball throwing about, which is actually quite fun. Like, and I can relate it to a golf movement, and it allows me to feel how I'm pushing and working the ground to throw the hard ball, like full energy. So it actually feels like I'm doing a bit of practice away from the course at the same time as trying to build speed. Jumping, which I can do in the mornings. I make my coffee, and when I get to the studio, I do those jumps to kind of get me going. I still do the swinging the stick thing as fast as I can as well. Then I bought a kettlebell. I bought a blooming kettlebell. And I'm doing squats with that and the other kind of lunge things that he's given me to try and build strength. I also do press-ups every morning. Like, that's what gets me woken up in the morning. I do a set of press-ups. So I'm just kind of doing it through the day whenever I can, not setting aside a time. So I'm kind of fitting it in best to my life. So the two main things, or the main things that I did is, one, I sought professional advice. And that's what I would seek to you. Don't use some of those ideas I've just shown you there might be applicable to you, but I don't know. I'm not an expert in this department. So seek expert advice for definite. Don't want to hurt yourself, don't want to push too hard, all those kind of things. No danger of me pushing too hard. And then what I did is I tried my hardest to fit it in. Now, over lockdown, it was easier. It was like, literally, I was able to do it loads. But then as life is unlocked and we're going back and work and kids back to school and all the rest of it, the clubs are beginning, you know, that the kids have to go to. It's definitely harder to fit it in, but it's all excuses to not fit it in. So it's making that time that fits for you. If it is an hour in a day, do that, I think. Or if it is like me, where you just want to kind of do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes there, and end up having about a 20-minute to 40-minute workout throughout the day, X times a week. It's whatever makes it happen. So like my soup's on, I fit it in. Right, let's show you what speeds I am up to. Where have I actually got with all my thinking? So let's look at my data. It's so interesting how much I trade on slow ball speed, low spin, high launch from high toe strikes. So look, 274s are my longest carries today, and one of them's coming from 154 balls. One of them's coming from 151 ball speed, and then one of them's coming from nearly 158, 157.9 ball speed. 2/4 spin, slightly lower launch. So I'm averaging 273 compared to my 260 average, and anyone who's watched my videos, I've had plenty of 259s on tests where it averages and carry. So 273 is healthy and good for me. That's faster, like it's faster. Club's getting up to 109, peaking at 111. I think the fastest I've ever had is a 114. I'm 4 up, that doesn't really change. I'm 1.6 out in at the moment with a slightly open face, but toeing up, which can give those a little bit of a draw if you strike them in the toe, which I absolutely do. There's the strike pattern you can see. So I'm able to strike the ball from there. It does feel a fraction less control, but again, I just feel like I need to practice it a lot more. But there is more speed. You know, we're talking 105s, 104s up to 109s in club head speeds. And I've had this at 111s as well. It changes from day to day as my body changes. 160 ball speed, 153 average, that's disappointing. I need to be able to get my distance coming from the faster ball speeds. I'm just deselecting here some of the slower ones. You know, if I can get these repeating, these two a bit more, and push that. I want to get 160 ball speeds on average without having to swing out my boots is my goal. I mean, I would say I kind of never really had regrets. In my life, I've always been quite good. If I want to do something, I do it. I put time to it, I make time for it, and I try and make it happen. It's something that I pride myself in, something that I try and get my kids to understand, that they can just do stuff if they work hard enough. And work ethic, for me, like, I was always the one hitting more balls than someone else. I was more than prepared to practice more than someone else. But I definitely have a regret. The regret of not trying to do the physical stuff I'm doing now at my age, which is going to be hard process with my life, my body's not the same. You know, it's gonna be an uphill battle, which I know it is, and that's fine. I'm like proper gutted I didn't do them as a late teenager, early 20s, when I was playing and competing seriously. You know, you see it on the PGA Tour, the transformation of bodies, like from Rory, and Brooks Koepka's a massive one, massive change in body from when he played European Tour to then becoming this world-class major winning golfer. Because I just feel if you take the delivery, like, put it to yourself, take the delivery you've got. If you just go and make that delivery 5 mile an hour faster, 6 mile an hour faster, you're going to be a better player. So you're going to hit the same amount out of bounds as you've always done, but you're going to capitalise as well. So you're just going to earn shots back. You wouldn't even have to change your swing. You could be the same person. I'm definitely going to be continuing this. I'm going to see where I can get. I want to get the ball speed to 160 with some level of consistency. I think the best I've got consistently at the moment is 158, and I get like one sneaking into 160, like one shot. I need to get in the ball speed into the 160s consistency, because there's the potential. Keep that ball speed up, then just maximise distance, and off I go. Thanks for watching. The struggle will continue. The exercises, it's not me that, it's so hard, but I'm gonna continue.